Hello YouTube, and today we're having another look at this lawnmower engine. I haven't had any comments telling me what this does. Now I did wonder if it was for the breather, because I thought the breather must go somewhere. But this is big enough to the point where it wouldn't like push onto there. This is too small. It would just sort of be balanced on there. This, as I said, does that. I was looking at this, there's something wants sorting out under here. I also put a random sticker on there from Terry's Chocolate Orange, because, you know, why not? And I also didn't get any comments telling me what this thing is. Now, when I look, there's actually a silvery grey stuff around here, which I would have said it was oil. And I would have said specifically very, very metallic oil, which is a bad sign. Obviously, I've not touched that white stuff because I don't know what it is. But the stuff around the edge here is looks like oil, but it looks extremely metallic-y, like very metally. And if that is the case, then that's normally a very, very bad sign, because that metallic is metal from the engine. Now, from what I could see up in there with my eye, it looked okay up in the thing, so I wouldn't have said there's any metal from there, but obviously what other metals from inside the engine. You know, just because that doesn't feel too good, that weather vane, I'm just going to remove my strap and this cover and have a look what's going on there. Seems to be moving okay now, though. So a lot of crap and leaves in there. I believe this, judging by those gears, I believe this mower's had an electric starter, and this is probably the separate magneto for the electric starter. So this is probably something to do with an electric starter that I believe the engine has probably had. This, I've got spark plugs, so that's not an issue providing this works. It's just the throttle I need to sort out. That turns around slower than the engine. When I can't turn that one, turn the engine. If I grab the one underneath, I can turn the engine. And I'm spinning the one underneath faster than that's turning round. So that's obviously geared inside. Well, it's quite dirty under there. Rust. Luckily, if I can... Yeah, luckily the bearings in there, that's an old one, and that's an aluminium one of these, so it won't wear out. And that seems to be moving quite freely, although I will put some oil on there. But when this cover was on, this didn't feel like it was moving quite right. That's probably the throttle, and what this will blow that and close the throttle. But that's the throttle. This blows the throttle closed, so that must be closed, and that must be open. But there's nothing really. That's closed already, that must be open. But I'm trying to think what holds it, you know, what holds it open, because that definitely doesn't feel strong enough. And what it'll do is it'll just close the throttle. This spring doesn't actually feel strong enough at all. And then this doesn't move any further, but if you push that, it operates that thing, which is that there, and I don't really know what that does either. So the engine does seem to be moving quite freely. and I don't think it's got any oil in there. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to get it out of the shed, and we're going to work on it today. Oh, look what my dog's been doing. Oi! What's this? Behave. Right, yeah, obviously he's been digging a hole there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this out of the shed and take a further look at it. I'm probably going to work here because the mud's dry, and because it's getting near winter, the grass is very dewy in the morning, and the grass is actually very wet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this out, and we're going to look at further inspection. Okay, so with it out, from what I can see up there, I can't see any major scoring on the piston. There looks to be dirt on the top of the piston, but it's either dirt or carbon build-up. I can't, even if I do start it on this trolley, because this will spin round and it's rubbing on there. So we're going to have to make like a temporary / permanent stand for it. If the engine does run, if the engine runs and runs okay, to the point where if the engine runs and seems to run fine, I shall probably keep the engine. And when eventually we remove the fencing, we have some poles that were standing up that have since blown over here, and we can use these as stands. We've got 3 here, and there's 1 banged in the ground for that chain, but we nick that when they're not looking. And what we could do is use them as 4 poles and bolt them here, and it'd be 4 poles, and it'd back like a garden table, just for as like more of a workbench. I mean, it'll look a bit tatty, but you know, who cares? Put a bolt through there on all of them, because they've all got the holes on, and the sun can shine through it, so it won't kill the grass. And when I'm working, I can just throw a bit of wood up here, like old bits of wood, and put stuff on. Not really as a nice garden feature, more as just an old workbench. It isn't that strong, and obviously it ain't going to last very long because it's already going rusty in many places. But obviously it'll go with, after probably about 2 or 3 years, it'll probably be quite rotten. But never mind, I won't worry about it. This is the pull start. Not too healthy in there, quite rusty. Wants definitely oiling up. I can't see in there particularly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and look for a torch, you know, a decent torch, and see if I can find one for looking in the spark plug area and down there, because obviously I don't think that looks to me like a waxy type substance, but obviously I can't be too sure. You probably could put a normal dipstick in there. I've not tried it. I'm not nicking stuff off of them and contaminating it. I don't think this is important. As I said, I think it's probably for like an electric starter or something it's probably had. I don't know why there's a second plate in front of the exhaust cage. Don't know what that's supposed to be doing. And we're just going to have a look at the throttle. We're not starting it in this video because obviously no one's commented telling me what this actually does and where the fuel goes in from. I believe the mower would have originally still had a primer bulb. From what pictures I have seen, I believe the primer bulb would have been part of the air filter. So whether it's going to need this to run or not, because I know both of them mowers in there, unless you prime them, as far as I'm aware, you won't start it without primage. But yeah, this seems to go to there, but that does move a second bit operating that. Either this spring's stretched, or I'm not really sure what's going on with that. But this is obviously a fan, as you can see, and it spins round and blows air, closing the throttle, and the spring's supposed to hold it wide open. So that would be full throttle, that would be off, something like that. I have seen them where this is on the side here, but I don't think I've seen an engine identical to this, which is why I need your help, really, to get it going. If the engine doesn't run and is knackered, then I shall probably throw it away. I might take certain parts off of it. For example, I might take the magneto spark plug thing, I might take the exhaust cage. It's a bit bent up, but it isn't rusty. The one on the Quellcast mower is quite rusty. and the things like the breather tube will fit both of those mowers. I might keep the throttle system there. I don't know if the head will fit. The head might fit, it might not. I don't know if the intake manifold's the same. This thing would be the same. This, the Sovereign doesn't use that system. It's a more modern system, and I don't know about the Quellcast. The Quellcast is 17 years old, but I don't know how old this engine is. As I said, it's off of a Hater lawnmower with a roller on the back, and with this is for the self-propelled, where it would have been at the side. So if any of you, if any of you do know what year the engine's from, or what year it's likely to be from with that design, please let me know. And I need to know does that pipe there, is that the intake for the fuel, and is that important, and what that white stuff is. But I'm going to stop talking now. I'm actually going to go and get a torch and look in those places. Okay, I've used that torch. I can't see anything untoward in there, anything bad. I can't see any scoring on here, although there might be very fine scoring on the bottom of the bore. Obviously, I don't have an air filter for this. I do have an air filter. Whether I can get it to fit this is obviously a completely different subject. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to whack a spark plug in there. Well, first of all, I'm going to get a spark plug it in here, because it seems to be okay, and see if I can see a spark. And see if I can actually see a spark, and then I'm going to whack it in there, just hand tight, and see if the mower actually has compression. Okay, I whacked the plug in the thing, and the engine. I keep calling it a mower, don't I? It's the engine from a mower, but it isn't actually a mower. The engine does have compression, but when I plugged the spark plug in here, I couldn't see any spark. Now, the metal thing up there is a bit squidged and bent up, as you can kind of see. But it did feel as though it had some form of connection there. But I couldn't see a spark. Now, I don't know whether that's because it's daytime. Now, people say you can see sparks at daytime, but I personally couldn't see anything. So it's either an extremely weak spark, or there wasn't a spark, or I just can't see it, or maybe I wasn't turning the engine fast enough. But never mind. I'm sure there must be spark. I mean, there's got to be, hasn't there? There's not a lot that can go wrong, I don't think. So, if there isn't a spark, then I wouldn't know what to do to actually fix that. So I'm going to just hope that there is a spark and the engine does have compression. So what I'm now going to do is put some oil in it. Now, as I said, I think what I'm going to do first, actually, is first of all, I'm going to give this a second wash and clean, and then I'm going to smother it in grease and oil and stuff, so it is working nice and freely. Have a quick look round the top here, make sure I'm not going to have to take this cover off again, because I don't think there's anything under here that I need to do. And then I'll bolt this cover on, put some oil in it, whack a spark plug in it, and then eventually start it. Not in this video. It's not being started in this video because I've not even sorted out the fuel system for it yet. So we're just going to start off with fixing this. I don't even know if this I'm ever going to get it running. This is just a project. If I don't get it running, I don't get it running. If it runs, it runs. It doesn't, it doesn't. So let's do that. Alright, I've oiled it after making a mess with the engine oil. I've not got it anywhere on the lawn or anything, which is a good thing. I'm working over here to wipe off the plastic, so I'm not worried about that. May have put a bit too much on. It's still slight scraping noises, but you know, it's just to help it. And now I'm going to look for some bolts that thread into there, and the other one. I do have some bolts left over from when I stripped the mower my granddad gave me. Oh, and by the way, that mower my granddad gave me, he actually, now, after the pull started broke, when we were speaking about it once when I was around his house, he said, well, you should have come and got the other engine, the original engine for it. Well, you see, I naturally assumed that the original engine for that mower had blown up, but little did I know he swapped them over because he was bored. He swapped the original Briggs & Stratton Classic engine for it was a Performance Power overhead valve engine, and I believe Performance Power are from, I believe they're B&Q, I'm not sure. But anyway, let's I'm going to have a last minute look round, look for some bolts, bolt this on. I'm not worried if it gets oil over it. Well, I kind of am. There's enough oil over it anyway, so I don't suppose it's going to get hot enough to the point where it's going to catch fire. And if it does catch fire, I'll just pour a load of water over it. That might not put it out though. It certainly wouldn't if it had a major petrol leak, because the petrol will just float on the water burning. I didn't say what I'm doing is safe, but you know, I'm just gonna probably put this back on now. Just to let you know, it will be probably this oil out of this used car engine oil that I will probably use in this lawnmower. This is out of a 2000. It says Ford on it. We put Ford oil in a Citroen because we're intelligent, but we believe that's just a lie, because that all engines are pretty much the same. But anyway, this oil's out of a 2005 Citroen Berlingo multi-space with over 100,000 miles. We're not sure whether it was over the change or before the change, like whether we'd overrun it or underrun it. But the other oil up there, out of the 2015 Citroen Cactus in the trailer, we think was overrun. So we're probably not going to put that oil in it. I might not even put the oil in it today. We're just I'm bored, so I thought I'd come out here and do something with this. So that was just letting you know that that's probably the oil I'm going to use as engine oil. It's from a diesel. It's from a 2-litre diesel. The Berlingo has. It's a 2-litre diesel engine. But if I run it with no oil, it's going to seize. Obviously, all engines will. It might be old used car engine oil, but I can assure you it's better than not having any oil. So we'll just use that oil in it, because you know I only found the engine as the end of the day as a project. Alright, so what I've done is I've just tipped all the excess oil in there out all over the patio. My parents can't moan at me because I'm off the lawn, but I've wiped it up, so it doesn't matter. I used 2 paper towels to wipe that up, and I thought I'm not going to waste paper towels, they're quite expensive, so I've got myself an old rag. So I've got 2 bolts that seem to fit there, but there's another bolt that's supposed to go over there, which is why there's 1, 2 and 3. So I'm going to have a look for another one. It probably doesn't matter if I only have 2 holding it on. It'll probably still be fine, but you know, while I'm here I might as well look for a third one, mightn't I? Right, there is still oil and stuff all dripping down, excess oil. I'm not worried about making a mess, as long as I don't get it on my clothes, because these aren't old clothes I'm wearing. Well, my t-shirt's old, but I still like it. I've set it up on these bricks, so this can spin freely with the engine. I'm not going to spin it too much, because obviously, as I said, it's got no oil in it, but it seems to be fine now. So what I'm probably going to do is actually add oil to the engine. I'm not going to worry about trying to flush it out. I think I'll just add oil, because the fuel bit, the main bit I need to sort out is here on the outside, and this wire is actually coming through again, so I'm not got that to worry about. So I think all what I need to worry about is just the fuel now, really. And then, so what I'm probably going to do is actually add oil to the engine and check for leaks. It actually has a oil drain plug on the bottom of the engine there. That's an oil drain plug. My 2 lawnmowers don't have that, or as far as I'm aware they don't have that. I've not actually looked. So, but yeah, it's got this metallic-y stuff here, which what I said is metallic oil, but then inside it's that white gunk, so I'm not really too sure. it says oil fill, and then it also says drain, but I think you find that's a drain plug on the bottom of the engine. But they probably make this for more than one engine and mower. So what I'm probably going to do now is actually add oil to the engine, because obviously if oil starts running out in random places. For example, there is a hole there in the bottom of the engine. I don't think oil's going to run out of that. It's possibly, don't really know what it's for, to be honest. I'll stick Allen key up there maybe and see. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to actually add some oil to the engine and check for leaks, obviously, as I'm doing so. If it starts leaking oil out quite badly in certain areas, to the point where, you know, I'm not going to be able to repair it, then obviously the engine's toast. But as far from what I could see, it's all seem okay. Well, there's a lot of oil around the engine, but you know. Okay, so I think that's it for today. The sun's coming out. I'm beginning to get a bit hot. I want to go in and do something else. I've added some oil to the engine, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to position it back on the stand. It's not totally, I don't know if it's totally filled to the level or not. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it all, I'm going to clear up my mess, clean up. I've done what I'm going to do for today. Give the chance, you know, I'll give the oil I'll probably check it next weekend, because it's Sunday today. I might check it later today, but I won't be doing any more to this engine today. So I shall probably be back with you next weekend, and I shall check the oil once it's all settled, and see if it's on level. Once I get it on level, I can't see any oil leaks so far. Obviously, I don't know, you'll see it from here, but I can't see any oil leaks so far, or anything bad. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put it all away, clear up, put it all away, and I'll see you next weekend. So I hope you've enjoyed the video. Comment, like and subscribe. I'll see you soon with a new video next weekend of this, and bye bye.